All right, so our second word problem is number 19 from the book. A company placed $1 million in 3 different accounts. It placed part in short-term notes, paying 4.5% per year, twice as much in government bonds, paying 5%, and the rest in utility bonds, paying 4%. The income after 1 year was $45,500. So how much did the company place in each account? Okay, so what we first need to do is assign our variables. I personally would do S for short-term bonds, or notes, I guess it is. It's notes, not bonds. My husband would kill me if he knew I used the wrong term. He deals with this kind of stuff. G for government bonds. And then U for utility bonds. That's personally how I do it. You could do XYZ, you could do ABC. It's kind of your call. Okay? And so the first thing is that they placed $1 million in the accounts. Okay, total. So that means my short-term notes plus my government bonds plus my utility bonds would have to equal the $1 million. Okay. We are also told that, the short term pays 4.5%, the government pays 5%, and then the utility bonds are 4%, and the income after 1 year was $45,500. So what that means is that 45%, so I'm going to write that as 0.045, times, not 45%, excuse me, 4.5%, times the money that you invested in short-term notes would yield this income after 1 year, plus the 5% in the government bonds, so that would be represented as 0.05 times the amount of money you placed in the government bonds, plus the 4%, which is represented as 0.04 times the utility bonds, and that would have to give you your $45,500. Okay, and then the last piece here, and it's snuck in real quick. So they talk about the short-term notes and then twice as much in government bonds. Therefore, the government bonds have to be 2 times the short-term notes, okay? Because it says twice as much in government bonds. That doesn't mean that it's 2 times the government bonds. It means the government bonds have to be twice as much as the short-term notes. I want you kind of to channel that inequality word problem stuff that we had going on. So then I go about solving this. I personally would utilize substitution because I've got that. So you go about solving, and then when you miraculously finish, I feel like I'm on a cooking show, and it's all done. And it looks like you did no work, but I did a lot of work actually to get these numbers. But for sake of time, I just want y'all to utilize, to understand basically that setup. I'm sure you can do the math at this point, but I also did want you to have the correct answers. But really the hardest part with these is the setup, okay? And I've got one more that I want to look at where we will need to set some stuff up. Okay, so here this is number 21 from the book. And it says the change machine contains nickels, dimes, and quarters. There are 75 coins in the machine, and the value of the coins is $7.25. There are 5 times as many nickels as dimes, and we want you to find the number of coins of each type. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the fact that we have nickels, dimes, and quarters. So I'm just going to do N equals nickels, D equals dimes, and Q equals quarters. Okay, and then so let's take the obvious. There's 75 coins in the machine, so that means nickels plus dimes plus quarters is going to give me 75. Okay, that's one equation. We know that the value of the coins is $7.25. So really the background information that you need to know is how much a nickel's worth, how much a dime's worth, and how much a quarter's worth. So a nickel's worth 5 cents. So I'm going to write that 5 cents times the number of nickels plus 10 cents times the number of dimes plus 25 cents times the number of quarters is going to give you the $7.25. Now, I will have some people ask, well, can I write that as 5N plus 10D plus 25Q equals 725? And that's fine if you want to write it that way. Either way is okay because it does not change the value of the equation at all. And then the last one, it says, there are 5 times as many nickels as dimes. Okay, so therefore, that means my nickels have to be 5 times the amount of dimes. Okay, so my nickels equals 5D. Don't let this fool you. It says 5 times as many nickels as dimes. That means if I have 2 dimes, I need 10 nickels. I need 5 times as many nickels. So that means I have to do 5 times the number of dimes in order to figure out the nickels. So that's where I get the N equals 5D. Then I go about to solve this. Again, I would utilize substitution. Again, the math, I'm pretty sure you can do. You can do that computation. You probably just really needed some help with setting up the problem. So it's not like you really need to work it out or anything. But if you do choose to, do it for extra practice or anything like that, the number of nickels that you should have, you should end up getting 50 nickels, 10 dimes, and 15 quarters. Okay, so that would end up being the answer if you chose to work it out. And you will end up working these out with any of the problems within class. I just didn't want to necessarily go through all the math with you with all of the problems, mainly because I don't think it's the computation that needs the assistance in this section. It's really just setting things up and being able to understand the word problems. So have at it and have fun.